Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great, beautiful, fantastic day. I hope you guys are staying healthy, staying happy, staying motivated. Guys, yesterday or the day before, we actually made a video about the situation right now with plenty of people struggling, right? There's a lot of people they're not doing well financially. They're struggling to pay their bills. They can barely afford rent. And all this is affecting the economy, right? We briefly touched upon the economics and GDP, but just to get the gist of it, people can't afford their rent, slows the flow of money. Everything has a negative impact on the economy overall, right? Again, there's people that are doing great in this economy, but let's get right into it, guys. So yeah, let's get right into it, guys. Obviously, with this situation, it's one thing for people to be financially struggling, but what that creates is an environment that can become dangerous because, as we stated in the video the other day, desperate people do desperate things in order to provide for themselves and for their families, right? And that could mean anywhere from fraud, scams, stealing, robbing, and worst case scenario is hurting others, right? So obviously a big part of this, guys, is the increase in prices in housing. That's in for purchases and for rentals. We have an overall increase in the market. Just generally speaking, everything is more expensive. I did have a local story that I read, and I want to get right into it. There was a new building in Hollywood, Florida, that it just got built recently, and this new building is an affordable housing building. It's supposed to offer affordable housing, which is great. I think that's a fantastic way to help remedy the situation, right? However, with this building in Hollywood, Florida, they have a total of 113 units in this building, okay? And if you want to apply to this building, obviously, if you want to get into this building, you need to apply and you have to meet certain requirements. But this is a crazy number, guys. This building received 20,000 applications. I want to say that again for the people that didn't hear me. 20,000 applications. 20,000 struggling people, 20,000 desperate tenants. These are families, single moms, single fathers. It's sad, guys. It's sad. 20,000 applications. Just think of that number. You know, so we sometimes get immune when we talk about numbers. We don't really understand. But guys, 20,000 applications, guys. Get right into it. I want to do the math real quick on what that comes out to being in percentage-wise, right? So 113 divided by 20,000, right, times 100. So check this out, guys. In the amount of people that applied, right, they're taking 113 applications out of the 20,000. They're taking 113 people, tenants, out of the 20,000 applications. This equates to listen to this, a 0.56%. 0.56% of those applications will be approved. Less than half of 1%, guys, of those applications are going to get approved. Think about that. You know, again, when we talk about numbers, sometimes we don't really grasp the macro or the bigger picture. But we're saying less than 1%, half of 1% of these applications will be accepted. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. That's crazy. So going back to it, I guess you could say there's obviously in economy, there's obviously a lot of indicators that can show if we're in a housing crisis. I got a little friend here. Do I think it's gonna be a recession, depression? I don't necessarily believe so. Do I think things will drop prices of houses? Yeah, I do, because I think things are too expensive. But again, I could very well be wrong, guys. I'm not here telling you guys that everything that I do or everything that I think is correct. I'm just giving ideas based off of real facts, right? We can only make the conclusions for ourselves. We can only make analyze the results and really try to deduce what it means. So just getting back to it, does it mean there's a housing crisis? I think it's a good indicator that something is definitely up. I think it's a number that we should be taking a look at. And I think more so, it also indicates that maybe we should have more places, more affordable housing buildings being built, right? Seeing how crazy these numbers are, maybe, yeah, maybe Florida should invest more in affordable housing, right? And again, you know that there's housing for people that are homeless. Obviously, those are limited too. But just staying on topic, what if an idea is we made more affordable housing all throughout South Florida, seeing the situation is, right? I mean, isn't the whole point of governors and politics to help individuals? Again, these are just ideas. I know it's more complicated than that. It all comes down to money at the end of the day. But just a little side note, I think that'd be a great idea to help remedy this in some situation. Even if you can't help every single person, what if you can help half of them? What if you can help 30% of them, 20%, guys? And we're talking about thousands of people would be helped, if this were to happen. So just a little side note. And then what does this mean as far as people that can't afford rent in an apartment or in a house? What does that mean? Well, they're going to look for alternative ways, guys. And I keep saying this to you guys. I keep saying it. Some of you are paying attention. Some of you are not paying attention. You need to be on the lookout for opportunities at all times, right? If you are struggling right now financially, look for opportunities. What do I mean by that? If people can't afford rent in a condo, apartment, townhome, or a single family home, what are the options do they have? Well, they can be homeless, right? But I don't know about you guys, but most people don't want to be homeless. So what are alternatives? And I'm not going to give you the answer to that. I'm going to have you guys think about some of that. And when you come to the answer, maybe there are opportunities there for you to get ahead, right? I'm not saying the opportunities are cheap. I'm not saying they're free, but there are always opportunities in a down economy. Remember that. I'm not telling you to take advantage of anybody. You can be a fair businessman and make a great living. But that's what I pose a challenge and a question to you. What opportunities you guys think are available now that people can't afford apartments and all these other different type of housing? Think about that. Again, I'm not going to give you the answers, something to think about, okay? So we're going to get right back to it. Here's another statistic talking about Hollywood being in Broward County. 62% of renters are cost burdened, meaning they are paying more than 30% of their income just to rent. It's not including bills and light, electricity, water, cable, and all the other bills that come with living, right? Which is a crazy number. And then here's another a follow-up to that. 52%, so half of the 62%, 52% of the 62% are severely cost burdened, meaning more than 50% of their income goes just to rent. It's not including utilities. It's not including car payments. It's not including groceries. Not including gasoline. Bless you. And it's just wild, guys. It's just wild, It's a wild time right now. I like to also always speak from experience. I get it, man. This is a hard time. Things are expensive everywhere. There is no place, nothing you look at right now is cheap. There are rising prices in all industries. I got a notary stamp today done, and I paid $10 for that, which blows my mind, right? For a stamp, I paid $10. But if you go to like a South American, a Latin country, a Hispanic country, South America, $10 will feed your whole family for like the whole day, several meals in a day. I mean, it's just mind blowing, but it shows where we're at now. For a stamp costs $10. So it just goes to show that throughout all industries, all aspects, everything is expensive, guys. There's nothing that's gone down in price. I was in Sunrise the other day, and I think Sunrise has a lot of potential. But I was looking at these homes, guys, for $500,000. And I could not believe the homes that you can get for $500,000. And I'm not saying this in a good way. I'm not saying this in a good way. Right before the bubble crash in 2007, 2008, housing crisis, a $500,000 home purchase was buying you a home with over 3,000 square feet. A home that has over 3,000 square feet is a good sized home. In that time, you could have bought a home over 3,000 square feet, 4 to 5 bedrooms, 3 to 3.5, 4 bedroom. I mean, I'm not making this up, guys. These are real facts, and I know this because I did transactions. I helped sell and buy homes in that price range, and I always thought, man, like the goal is to always try to buy a home for 500,000. That's a good size home, guys. What 500,000 was in 2008, 2007 in that bubble, which remember it was a bubble. Those are high prices at the time. What $500,000 was during that time compared to now, pretty much what I'm trying to tell you is a $700 to $1 million home is now comparable to what a $500,000 home was in the 2008 bubble. And I keep saying bubble because the prices were crazy at this time. That's why I keep saying that. Prices were so high at the time, and being as high as it was, right now it's almost double, guys. It's literally almost double. There are homes that I show right around for $1 million, and I cannot believe that they're worth $1 million. Don't get me wrong, land is obviously valuable, but guys, some of these homes, I'm almost embarrassed to even show them. I'm like, this costs 800? No, this can't. This costs 900. Like, it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. And the more hot the city is, the more expensive all these prices are. I always say that even in the down economy, people are making money, right? I mean, in every economy, good and bad, there's always individuals making money. But right now, guys, with the same areas that people are struggling, there are more cash purchases than anywhere else in the country. I'm going to say that again. In the same areas and cities that people are struggling, the hot cities, Miami, Tampa, Jacksonville, Fort Lauderdale, it's a couple more here, Orlando. In these same areas, there are more cash purchases than anywhere else in the country. So the cities are Jacksonville, West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Tampa, and Orlando. In Jacksonville, 50% of all purchases of homes, 54% of those purchases are in cash. In West Palm Beach, 53% of all those home purchases are in cash. That's more than half, guys, in cash purchases. In Fort Lauderdale, 46% of all purchases are cash. In Miami, 44% of all purchases are cash. In Tampa, 42% of all purchases in cash. What does this tell me? This is where it gets tricky, right? And another thing, another side note, you also have big banks and big investment firms buying up a lot of real estate. So what I'm trying to get at with you guys is, yes, there are less buyers right now. There are less people, the average working person. There are less people right now buying homes. Let me state that clearly. There are less average income individuals buying homes. However, there are still high income people, and we talk about high income, let's say 100,000 and up. There are still high income individuals buying homes, and they're buying in cash. Why is this? Well, remember I said investment banks, investment firms, they're buying a lot of real estate, guys. They're buying up a lot of real estate. This is something that's happening kind of in the secret. And remember, why would they buy all the real estate? Well, because they're trying to get it cheap, and they are, in a sense, they are the big multi-billion-dollar investment firms buying real estate. And couple that with high-income individuals, family buying real estate. Even though there's less average individuals buying real estate, the other people that are purchasing is still keeping the prices at where they're at. So yeah, there are less average people buying homes, buying real estate, but there are still homes being sold to those individuals that have the money, that have the cash. And remember, guys, if you bought a home, let's say, again, it's the number I'm going to use, 2018, 14, 2012, any within that last decade or so when interest rates were much lower, much more competitive, any of those times, people are taking advantage of that. What do I mean by that? Well, when they bought those homes, they bought them for cheap, or much cheaper than now. Fast forward 5-10 years later, these homes, some even double, guys. They are cash ready. They are full of equity. They sell their home, and even though things are expensive, let's make this clear. Even though things are expensive, they were able to make enough money because of the time that they bought, they were able to make enough money to purchase their next home, even though they're still expensive, but they're able to purchase their next home in cash because of the money that they earned from the sale of the home that increased so much in value, which is crazy, right? I mean, we always talk about people that are in poverty, people that are struggling. There are still people that are doing very well, everybody. Not everything is doom and gloom. And I think that's part of one of the reasons why we're not seeing necessarily a crisis. And that's why I say I don't know if a crisis is coming, to be honest with you. I don't know. Do I think things will drop? Yeah, I think things will drop. Because I think even people that have money, they'll realize, I'll just wait till things are a little cheaper. But at the end of the day, these homes are still being bought. The price is right. They're being sold, guys. There are transactions still moving. Even though the average income person is not buying, homes are still being bought and sold every single day. Just remember that, everybody. Even though there's less sales, less purchases, homes are still being sold. And who's buying them? The individuals that have the cash to buy them. People that are in a financially advantageous situation. They are still buying this home. That's why the price of homes isn't falling. And I know you've heard it. There's people that have said 6 months ago, oh, give it. 2024, it's all gonna crash. Look at this. I don't see a crash, guys. I see a small decrease. Yes, there are more homes lasting on the market for longer than normal times. Yes, this is true. There are homes that sold in Christmas, this last Christmas, November, September, for let's say 30, 40,000. Yes, homes have dropped a bit. But because purchases are still happening, there's still a demand for real estate, guys. The difference is that the people that are able to afford and buy them are those that have the cash. That's why I keep telling you guys, again, friendly to friendly advice. If you want to make moves, pay down your debt and just start saving money so you guys can take advantage of when prices drop. I know it's hard, guys. It's a lot of work, time, and effort. That's why going back to what I said, prioritize your needs versus your wants. You need to eat every day. You need gasoline to get to work. You need insurance. You need all these things. Maybe you don't need that jewelry. Maybe you don't need that new gaming system, that new computer, you know, that new iPhone, guys. I mean, think about these things. And even if you get great terms on financing, think about it. Do I really need this? Even if you get great terms on finance, that's still an extra bill. Even if it's 0% interest for the next year, which most of the credit cards are now anyways, that's still an additional expense you got to pay every month. And an additional expense on top of your living expense, you're just raising your debt, your income to debt ratio, okay? Just remember that. So here's another recent survey, recent study they did. 36% of Gen Zers and millennials who plan to buy a home expect to receive a cash gift to help with down payment and closing costs. 36%, that's more than a third of millennials and Gen Zers are expecting a cash gift from family or friends to help. Remember, on a lot of this, guys, with the home purchases, your mortgage will most likely be cheaper than rent, but the issue is the down payment. It's the closing costs. People do not have $10,000 to $30,000 to close, guys. People can barely pay a $1,500 rent. How do you expect people to have, you know, $20,000 to $30,000? And I hope that you guys saw that video yesterday when I spoke about apartments and townhomes. If these places don't have reserves, the bank will not qualify them for a low down payment, and they will have to buy with a high down payment, 20 to 25%. 20 to 25% on a regular little condo nowadays, and I don't mean that lightly, is easily $200,000. 20% of $200,000, that's 40 grand. It's 40 grand, right? 40 grand just for a down payment plus closing costs, another 10 grand, $50,000. Just to sum it up for you guys, you know. And if you guys want to learn more about that, look up reserves. I honestly, I wish you, every single one of you, the best. If you guys ever need anything from me, any information, I do not charge for information. If you guys are looking to buy or sell, I would love to work with you. I love making my clients happy. What I love about my job is working with clients that when they say they worked with me, it puts a smile on their face, and they say nothing but great things. I want to be that realtor for each and every one of you guys. If you guys ever need anything, call me, text me, 305-988-2230. I wish you guys have a great, fantastic rest of your day. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay motivated. I love you all.